A film about quantum physics, my friend. I have very little time left. Actually, I have all the time in the world because I'm a concentration of space and time according to quantum physics. According to Einstein, all matter and all energy in the universe is a concentration of space and time. Therefore, there is a curvature of space and time when we approach a mass. That is why when we approach the sun, we see that the planets move around the sun. It is not because the sun pulls the planets and the planets have some speed. Who gave them that speed? Someone must give them an initial impulse according to Newtonian physics. But do you know, Newtonian physics is a very primitive physics which is based on empirical observations. It is not real science. Newton said, well, the apple fell into my head. It is normal to fall into my head because all apples fell to the ground. So if all apples fell to the ground, then that means that the ground attracts the apples. So this planet attracts all the objects to itself. As why? Well, because there is something called the gravitational force. And who is this one which produces the gravitational force? Well, I don't know. I have no idea. There must be some magnetic element in the core of Earth, some big iron thing which attracts all things together. Well, you see, but if you have two balls at pool, you know, they attract each other in a vacuum. Why? They are not magnetized. Actually, if they were magnetized, they will reject each other because plus rejects plus and plus attracts minus and minus attracts plus. Like men attracts women, women attracts men, but men reject men and women reject women. You understand? Void rejects void, fullness rejects fullness, fullness attracts void, void attracts fullness. So, the Newtonian physics are based on empirical observations of the reality. All physicians in the world say, yes, it is very normal for Mercury and the planets who are closer to the Sun to move faster than the planets who are heavier and farther away from the Sun. Why? This makes no sense. Mercury is a much smaller planet than Jupiter. Therefore, if the mass of Jupiter is much greater than thousands of times greater than the mass of Mercury, it will make sense that it will rotate faster in order to maintain its orbit. Being heavier, one would presume that it will fall faster into the center of the Sun than Mercury. Therefore, in order to maintain its orbit, a heavier planet must have a faster acceleration, a faster movement around the Sun or around the central star. So it's actually the other way around. And if we study the solar system, we will see that it doesn't matter the mass of the object, it only matters the position vis-a-vis the Sun. The objects which are closer to the Sun are attracted more heavily than the objects which are farther away. And all physicists which are very naive say, well, this is normal because the objects are farther away, but this is not at all the law of the universal gravity, which states that the universal constant of gravity for a specific body remains the same no matter the distance towards that body. But if we adopt the scientific evidence of Einstein, which says that we are all concentrated space and time, and the space-time, the four dimensions are one, so you can actually translate space into time and time into space, and you can translate mass into energy and energy into mass, like you happen into an atomic bomb. An atomic bomb implodes, and all the mass is transferred into a big energy. Yes. That means that every atom in our body, every electron, every neutron, every neutrino, every quark, every subquark, every particle which has a smell, and every particle of energy, every photon is actually, every photon is a concentration of space and time. And therefore, It is an absurdity to say that we do not travel through space and time. We are space and time. It is pretty obvious that my body occupies a certain space. It is also obvious that this video is made in time. No, it is made in time. If I were frozen in time, then this video will be instant. So, sorry, I'm a little bit tired. So, why do the planets which are closer to the Sun move faster than the planets which are farther away? Well, according to Einstein's theory, there is a curvature of space and of space-time, which grows exponentially as you approach the body. So, in other way, the Sun is a black hole. At the center of the Sun is a black hole, but this also happens with Earth, or with a ball from billiard, or with my own body. If you approach my own body, you will feel the intensity of my, my spiritual body, so-called spiritual bodies, which also were photographed. There are people in Romania who can photograph and show you pictures of your spiritual bodies. So, my friends, it is very simple. We are space and time. And not only space and time. We are ethics, power, money, consciousness, law, whatever crazy idea passes through our head. Actually, the ideas do not pass through our head, because scientists try to see where is the center of vision, where is the center of hearing, where is the center of smell, and they all found it in the brain. But where is the center of thought? Where are thoughts created? Where are feelings created? Well, they are not created in the physical body, they are created outside the physical body. They are creating in the bioenergy body, in the body of emotions, the body, in the mental body, in the body of chakras, in the body of spirit, in the body of Vishnu. So we are all these qualities, and therefore going through various dimensions is very real. In order to go to a higher dimension, you simply have to become a better black hole. To integrate enough light, if you integrate enough light into yourself, you become light. You integrate enough God, you become God. You listen to a lot of people talking about sport, you become addicted to the sport. You listen to people talking about computers, you want to buy a computer. You go to the jungle, you listen to some cannibals, suddenly you have a taste for human flesh. So you see, we are all influenced, but in order to exercise this power, you have to believe that you have the power to cure the other people and yourselves, especially yourself, through the use of magic. Then the magic simply means intention. You have to have a strong intention and a strong will to change the reality, and then the reality will change. It is simply as that. Goodbye.